Hello everybody. I'm Buzz and I'm here to do a comparison today at the request of one of the viewers. 1/17 of my viewers were having a question about the different kinds of LavaTubes. So let me do my figuring. That would be 1 because I have 17 subscribers. Anyway, let's see. Here's the versions. There's 4 versions out there. Actually, there's 5 versions that I know of. Okay, this one is called, I got it from Texas Select Vapors. It's called a variable volt Bronco. This one I got from Apollo. It's called a Apollo V-Tube stainless steel limited edition. They're not going to make these forever. If you want one, you better get on it and get it, because when they're gone, they told me they're not going to make any more. And there's a chrome one, and I believe iVape also has a chrome one. There's probably somebody else out there that carries it also. It's the same, but it's made out of copper or brass, I don't know which, and it's chrome plated. This one's solid stainless steel. And then excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. Also, there's a copper version, and then there's a second generation. This is not the same as these two. Now these two, the insides and the way they function are the same. See, they have the exact same buttons, same screen. When you turn them on, they do the exact same thing. The big differences in the two being the second generation has it reads cartomizer resistance or atomizer resistance. The buttons are all black. There's no red button like these two, and it has a 4 amp cutoff. Right, if I remember right, these have a 1.5 amp cutoff. And let me show you what that means and what the difference is. Okay, we'll use this one. The difference between the upgraded version, we'll call it, even though, well, we can't even call it that. This is the limited edition LavaTubes is it's made out of all metal. It has metal end caps. The original one had plastic end caps. It's made out of aluminum. I guess that's metal too, but it's a cheaper metal. This is really heavy. It feels good. It is stainless, so it gets fingerprints all over it. You're constantly wiping it off, but it's shiny and it's nice. Up here it has an Ego connector, and I put an adapter on there, adapter cone, to make it work a little better with tanks. It has a real light or airy draw, I guess we'll say. And this has a standard 510 connection, and this has an Ego 510. So that's some of the little bit of differences between the two. Now, the main big difference between these is the way they work. Okay, your 4 amp cutoff. Here's a dual coil cartomizer on the original type LavaTube. Kind of wimpy. All right, now we're gonna run a same thing on the second generation. Much better vapor production, better flavor. That 4 amp cutoff switch, just the big difference between the two are you could use this for dual coils and low resistance if you like that, and the other LavaTubes you can't, or you can, but they just don't perform very well. Now I've got a 4.5 ohm cartomizer all set up here, and let's see what happens now. great vapor production, great flavor. So at high voltage, these two versions of it work wonderful. No complaints whatsoever. If you want to use 3 ohms and up, you'll be really pleased with these, the way they perform. If you like the low resistance, or you want to try different things because you think it takes better with your juice to have low resistance on one and high resistance on another, or maybe you're a CE2 user. A lot of them are low voltage. At high voltage, this thing performs very nice also. So that's should be your deciding factor. If you're not going to use dual coils, you'll be pleased as punch with this thing. It works great. If you like dual coils, you better get you this one if you're considering a LavaTube, because this is the one that's going to work the best for you. Okay, from what I know about the LavaTubes, the history of them, they were ordered by, or I don't know if they were designed, but Volcano Ecigs had them made in China, and the Chinese people made theirs for them, and then they started making them for everybody else. And I can't spit it out. The difference being is nothing, just the name. That's it. Same thing. They're L Riders, they're L Rider L, they're Night Riders, they're variable volt Broncos, they're V tubes, they're this tube, they're variable voltage tube. I mean, there's just, the list goes on and on, and it's kind of making some confusion. This really isn't a second generation. It could be called maybe a second run, because it's the same thing, just improved. This, however, is a second generation in my mind. That's the way I see it. It even uses pulse technology. It doesn't even operate the same as this. This, I can screw on my my meter, and it'll tell me exactly what I'm getting. This won't. Now, I did see on this when I used my voltage meter, but I don't know how accurate that, or my multimeter, I don't know how accurate it is, but because it uses the pulse, it seemed to run a little bit higher. And this one runs on the high end a little bit higher also. Not much, maybe 0.5 volts than what the actual window says when you do a test on it. And that's really all I got to say. I hope that clears everything up for some people. This one I found Vapor Beast, but I believe they're out of stock right now. I did a little checking around before I started the review, and it was $69. It's $79 at iVapes for the kit. Comes with 2 batteries. Same thing, $69.99 at Vapor Beast, and that was a kit with 2 batteries and 2 atomizers and a charger. Vapor Alley had this one for the kit for $69.99, and also you could buy a standalone for $49.99. This you can get it at Apollo, or you could get the same thing, but it's chrome. It's not made out of stainless steel, but it probably feels the same weight, and it has the same Ego 510 connector and adjustable center pin, which is really a nice feature. You don't have to. If you saw my video on the VV Nova tank, it didn't fit very well with everything. Well, that thing would have screwed right into here and worked just fine, because without having to file the center pin down on the tank, because that adjusts. That's a really well thought out good idea. And they have the copper version. You get them at Apollo, you get them at iVape, has a chrome. I believe Volcano Ecig, that would be the original one if you want to stick to the original manufacturer, that they have a chrome also. And this is all over the internet in 100 different names. I can't even begin to go on. This one I got at Texas Select Vapors, and I believe I paid $79, $75, $76, something for it like that. And there might be some of a difference. I've heard issues of the connector being crooked and glue in the window and other things. I paid a little more for this than what some of the sites are. You can get them for $49 for the kit, but then you get complaints about the quality of it. So maybe those are seconds and people are able to sell them off a little cheaper. I'm speculating. I don't know, but I know I got this one. I paid a little bit more than what most sites charge, but it looked no defects on it. Okay, all right, and that's my review or comparison, and all I got to say is keep on vaping.